to Season 2, Episode 19 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches in Impact Wrestling history with match number 32 on our list, which is the 30-minute Iron Man match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship between the champion Eddie Edwards and the challenger Lashley from the special TNA Impact Genesis event on January the 26th of 2017. Now, this was in a period where TNA was running significantly less pay-per-views than they had in the past. So what they were doing is they were taking their classic pay-per-view names, such as Genesis, and using them as Impact TV specials instead, and this was one of those. Both of these men feuded throughout 2016, leading in this match to kick off 2017. It all started back at Destination X in the summer of 2016, which again was another Impact special. So Destination X had traditionally been a pay-per-view, that focused around the X division. I'd mentioned that in the Samoa Joe versus Christian video a couple of videos back. In 2012, Austin Aries, he created something called Option C, where it was the option for the X Division champion to surrender their title, to move up to the heavyweight division, challenge for the TNA World Heavyweight title, and crown a new X Division champion in the process. Lashley had actually been challenged by Austin Aries, several years after that, and managed to hold on to the TNA title at Destination X. So in 2016, Eddie Edwards was the X Division champion, came in, wanted to use Option C, but Lashley put his own caveat on there. Having went through this before, he said, you know what, if I'm going to put up my title, I want you to put up your title. So we won't crown a new X Division champion through a tournament or an Ultimate X match or whatever we would normally do. We're going to have a title for title match to main event Destination X. Lashley would win that match, become the X Division champion as well as the heavyweight champion. He would have a very short reign with the X Division title though. These two would continue to feud throughout the rest of 2016, and it would finally lead to Eddie Edwards winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, which was great. Eddie Edwards is an absolutely fantastic professional wrestler. He's someone that, despite all of the successes in his career, I still feel like he's underrated. He started out basically as a lower card guy in Ring of Honor, worked his way up to the heavyweight title there, had great success, going through the Pro Wrestling Noah system, eventually becoming their heavyweight champion, and did the same as in TNA, coming in as a tag team guy in the Wolves with Richards, into the single star in the X Division, and then finally, reached the top of their mountain. So Bobby Lashley went on to claim that Edwards' win was a fluke, and that's what brought us to the Iron Man match, that there would be no flukes, that the winner would truly be the best pro wrestler because they would get the most decisions in 30 minutes. If we talk about Lashley for a moment here as well, this is a guy that, when he started in WWE had just unlimited potential. They did a really good early job with him, and then it fell apart. He wasn't treated well, and he ended up leaving the company on his own accord. He came into TNA, I believe it was 2009 that he made his TNA debut. Didn't go over great. I think they put him over Samoa Joe immediately, and people, kind of weren't happy about that. He was looked at as just, this WWE kind of lumbering powerhouse guy. And he decided to just forge his own path. He had a really successful Bellator career in MMA. He used that to kind of up his status in TNA. And just, 2014 on, where this dude became an absolute monster, and he finally tapped into that main event potential. I think a lot of us knew that he had all along. He raised his stock, dominated TNA. That led to him coming back to WWE. That didn't go so well in the early goings, but here we are in 2021. At the time of this video, he is the current WWE champion, and he'll be, in one of the main events at WrestleMania against Drew McIntyre. And it's fantastic. He's done so well for himself, and it's really great. I'm really happy to see it. This match, though, is excellent. It is a TV match. It's a 30-minute TV match. It does have a couple of commercial breaks throughout it, which, does hurt it a little bit, I'll be honest. I wish we could see this match in its unedited form at some point, because I'm sure it makes it even better. But as it stands, it's fantastic, and it's a worthy inclusion on this list. And it's a match of two very different wrestlers. Lashley is the powerhouse. He dominates this match. Eddie Edwards gets very little offense in for the entire 30-minute duration here. Eddie Edwards is, very undersized compared to Lashley, and he has to really pick his spots and his openings. He starts the match by, just dodging and ducking and chopping and hitting where he can. Lashley takes over and just grinds him with his power moves. Eddie's able to get a quick opening. He hits a flash enziguri kick while Lashley's perched on the top rope, sends him to the floor. Lashley hits a tope, but back in. Eddie hits a tope rather. Back in though, Lashley quickly cuts off the momentum, hits a spear, puts Eddie away for the 3 to go up a very early 1-0. Lashley just continues to, grind Edwards down. Again, Edwards is able to get another flash, spot of offense. He hits a flying code breaker from the top. Grabs the Achilles lock, and Lashley seems to struggle in that submission hold a little bit, but he gets the ropes, goes into panic mode, just hits Eddie with a massive overhead belly-to-belly suplex, sending him over the ropes to the floor, takes him up the ramp, and just brutally powerbombs Eddie Edwards on the ramp. He knows he has to stop that momentum again because the Achilles lock had him in trouble. That leads to a count out, and Lashley goes up 2-0. Eddie gets counted out. Lashley is just a tremendous prick heel. He's asking the referee to start a second count, after he gets 10. He pulls the turnbuckle padding off the turnbuckle, almost like as an insurance policy, basically saying, when Eddie gets back to this ring, I'm going to brutalize him. Eddie gets back in. That's exactly what Lashley does, but he makes a pivotal mistake. He goes for the spear again. Again, Eddie's able to dodge, which has really been all he's been able to do in this match. Lashley hits his head off the exposed turnbuckle. So, he basically, gets a dose of his own medicine. Eddie schoolboys him up to make it to 2-1. They go back to the floor. Again, Lashley's like, I need to destroy this guy again. He goes for a German suplex on the ramp, but what happens this time? Eddie lands on his feet and hits the Boston Knee Party on the ramp. Lashley's just able to beat the count, so we don't get a repeat of the count out. He, again, in panic mode, goes for the spear. That's how he's cut off Eddie time and time again in this match. He goes for it, but gets hit mid-spear with the Boston Knee Party, and Eddie is somehow able to tie it up 2-2. This leads into a great finishing stretch where Eddie, both of them kick out of their big moves. Eddie manages to kick out of a spear. Lashley manages to kick out of a Boston Knee Party, showing the importance of these guys, trying to do whatever they can to hang on. Eddie goes for the flying code breaker off the top again. That was a big momentum shift earlier, but this time Lashley catches a mid-move, hits a brutal double powerbomb, and locks on a head and arm choke that causes Eddie to submit to put him up 3-2. Now, with only a couple minutes left in this match, Lashley goes to the outside. He decides he's going to stall, he's going to wait out the time, and it leads to an awesome spot where Pope D'Angelo De Niro is one of the commentators. Him and Lashley start getting into it on the floor. Pope says, you want to prove it's not a fluke, you want to prove it's a better man, get in the ring and fight. That leads to Eddie wiping Lashley out with a tope, getting him back in the ring. Lashley again goes to the spear for the cutoff. Eddie counters it into a guillotine choke, and it looks like he's going to tie up this match, but Bobby Lashley's able to survive almost a minute. I think it was like 50 seconds in that guillotine to allow the time to expire, to allow him to win the match 4-3, and to allow him to become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion once again, and an absolute heartache as basically Eddie Edwards runs out of time. If there was more time, he would have tied that up. Who knows what could have happened, but there wasn't. The 30-minute time limit had expired. Lashley was the new champion. This match is fantastic. It can be watched on Impact Plus, of course. You can follow me here by subscribing to the channel on YouTube so that you never miss a video. Please follow on Instagram and Twitter @Wrestling50, and join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.